A few hours ago, the skies above Tel Aviv lit up once again. Sirens cut through the night, lights flickered across the city, and people ran without hesitation. This was not old footage, not a drill, not a warning of what could happen. This was happening in real time, and one thing became immediately clear: this situation had escalated beyond what many were expecting. In the last 24 hours, everything shifted. An Israeli strike inside Iranian territory reportedly eliminated a high-profile figure, and the response did not take long. Iran answered with a wave of missile launches directed toward Israel. The targets were not random. Strategic areas were clearly in focus, including major population centers like Tel Aviv. Defense systems were activated instantly. Interceptions filled the sky, explosions lit up the air, but not every missile was stopped. And that is where the real impact began. Picture the moment. The night is quiet, the sky is dark, and then suddenly, a flash. Not fireworks, not lightning, but something far more dangerous. Within seconds, sirens begin to scream. People have only moments to react. Some make it to shelters in time, others are caught in the chaos. The sound of explosions follows, shaking buildings, rattling windows, sending shockwaves through entire neighborhoods. In just minutes, the atmosphere of the city changes completely. In several areas, the damage became visible almost immediately. Broken glass scattered across streets, building facades were hit, and some structures suffered direct impact. It was not total destruction, but it was enough to leave a clear mark. Dust filled the air, emergency lights flashed in every direction, and streets that are usually alive with movement fell into an uneasy silence. What makes this situation even more complex is the type of weaponry being discussed. Reports suggest the use of advanced missile systems capable of rapid deployment and higher precision. Some are believed to carry multiple payloads, meaning a single launch can result in multiple impact points. That alone places an enormous strain on defensive systems, forcing them to track and intercept more than just one incoming threat at a time. Israel's defense network remains one of the most advanced in the world. Systems designed to intercept incoming threats were fully active, and many missiles were successfully stopped before reaching their targets. But no system is flawless. In a scenario like this, even a small percentage of missiles getting through can have serious consequences. And that reality is what people on the ground are facing. But beyond the physical damage, there is something else that cannot be ignored: the uncertainty. Residents do not know when the next siren will sound. There is no clear pattern, no predictable timeline. At any moment, the alarms could go off again. Children are waking up in the middle of the night, families are staying close together in confined spaces, and many are choosing to remain in shelters even after the immediate threat appears to pass, simply because they know it may not be over. This is the side of conflict that is often overlooked. It is not just about explosions or headlines. It is about the constant tension, the psychological pressure that builds over time. Every loud noise becomes a potential threat. Every quiet moment carries a sense of unease. Nights feel longer, and normal routines begin to break down under the weight of uncertainty. Looking deeper into the situation, it becomes clear that this is not a random escalation. The response appears measured, calculated. Instead of unleashing everything at once, there are signs of a strategy that builds pressure over time. Each move tests the response, pushes limits, and forces the other side to react continuously. It is not driven by impulse but by a structured approach designed to maintain constant strain. Israel continues to respond, maintaining its defensive posture and carrying out its own operations. But the pressure is not coming from just one direction. There are multiple layers at play: military, political, and international. As civilians become increasingly affected, the global conversation begins to shift. Questions start to emerge, not just about tactics, but about the broader implications of what is unfolding. What happened in those recent hours was more than just another exchange. It marked a turning point, a signal that this situation may be entering a new phase, one that is more open, more intense, and potentially harder to control. The scale, the frequency, and the visibility of these events suggest that this is no longer operating in the background. It is now at the forefront. And that leads to the question everyone is asking right now. Does this stop here, or is this only the beginning of something larger? Because if the current trajectory continues, the situation could evolve in ways that are difficult to predict. For now, people remain on edge, watching, waiting, and trying to make sense of what comes next. Behind all the headlines and analysis, there are real lives being affected, real communities adjusting to a reality that changed almost overnight. And as this continues to unfold, the focus remains not just on what has already happened, but on what might happen next.